Hi, Christopher. It's great to have you here. I know we've always valued our relationship as you as one of our most trusted interim assignees that has done some work for us over the years, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me today.
Absolutely. We just wanted to take some time to ask a few questions on your experiences alongside Corazon, working out in the marketplace, and kind of go from there. So I'll just start with, if you could describe how you've been able to have the greatest impact for our client partners as a Corazon interim, or as someone that has been doing this for the duration that you have.
Sure. Well, Corazon and my experience with Corazon primarily had been within the hospital system, and it really was an invaluable experience. I think that the greatest impact has been through the ability for Corazon to develop a set of deliverables alongside of the interim. That's really a unique experience. I mean, I haven't had that experience with any other clients that I've worked with. I've worked with a few others, one New England based and then others elsewhere on the West Coast. But Corazon's approach has been really the support. And so in developing those deliverables, clearly articulating those to upper management and C-suite, in this case, obviously the hospital, allowing access to top-level managers really speeds the entire process. It accelerates the ability to do the discovery that the interims need to do, or consultants need to do. Having access to the C-suite, as it were, through Corazon's setup and their relationship with the hospital leadership, allowed me to attend weekly meetings, and in those weekly meetings, quickly made relationships, got a feel for each other, saw each other visually every week, developed friendships. And so to this day, I think I could probably reach out to almost anyone there in the C-suite, and they would remember me. So I think that has allowed the interim or consulting person to come in and really make a big impact.
Terrific. So with that said, how have Corazon resources that you've had the access to make a difference in reaching the client's goals during the time period that you provided?
Sure. Well, Corazon has always been, a wealth of knowledge in terms of what's necessary to, number one, for like the KPIs in this case for the hospital. In my situation, in the time that I worked with Corazon with this particular hospital, that the people over at Corazon were able to, with a specific body of knowledge, come back to me and answer the questions that I needed every time that something would come up, and invariably things will come up that you'll need assistance with. And so I think that the resources that Corazon provided were really invaluable.
Well, great. That leads me to my last question, which I'm most excited to ask, is tell us a little bit about your specific area of expertise in current industry knowledge that would be beneficial to any client partner.
Most of the work that I've done has been tertiary and primarily cardiovascular, vascular, in the surgery section as well, and then orthopedics as well, and have done a little bit of neurology work in setting up a client's new practice. So I have those particular specialty experiences, but over the years, in having worked with them in different situations, one of the things that's really served for me, I think, well as an organizing point is the Six Sigma approach. My white paper that I had done a few years back was designed around how employee evaluations had a huge impact on culture, relationships, productivity, and meaningful partnership relationships between all of the staff and the physicians. And so in that white paper, which I certainly can make available, it shows how using the Six Sigma approach in the DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control approach to understanding a process, and the process was the HR evaluation for these staff, how that tied into an examination of culture. And so understanding the culture and understanding what we do and why we do it, I think is extremely important in any now and going forward relationship with the client and within the organization, for them understanding whether or not they really know their culture and how it is that they can improve their relationships and productivity. Everything is affected by really knowing, really understanding, and analyzing who you have for staff has been my approach in one way or another. Now, I use Six Sigma in other, obviously, other areas of processes with any clients that I work with. But the one that I had formed my white paper on really was sort of the defining point in my career, in which how I now approach my clients and understanding quickly where they are, using this Six Sigma approach to evaluate what the best options would be, and hitting the ground running. So I think, if anything, that would be the best way to define what are the things that, what's the greatest thing that I can offer in coming into a new client situation.
Great. I think that is very well said. We do appreciate your time, and thank you so much for providing such insight into you as a seasoned professional and someone that has worked alongside Corazon in these interim assignments.
Charlie, welcome. My pleasure.
Absolutely. So Christopher, anything you want to redo on that? No, nothing on my end. Alyssa, anything that you want to redo?
I think it sounded great. So.
Did it come across all right?
I think
yeah,
so.
That's so.
Okay,
yeah, I think that it's important. I do. The first two questions obviously are geared towards Corazon because it's a Corazon conference, but I think it's really important that you expounded upon your approach. The third question specifically because you're the face that's on the screen, and yeah, I'm good. Alyssa, if you are.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Christopher. It was a pleasure meeting you.
And Alyssa, we'll get these out to Christopher once we have everything completed and put together.
Yep, once I get my editing hat on.
I'll probably want to redo everything,
All right. Well, I thank you both. I do appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much.
Have a great day.
All right. Have a great day.